And now, welcome to Chai with Manju, with your host, Dr. Manju Sheth.
Hello and welcome to Chai with Manju. Our special guest today is Dr. Ishan Shivanand. He's a modern monk and is the founder of Yoga of Immortals that blends ancient yogic wisdom with modern science to create holistic, research based solutions for many disorders, including anxiety and depression. He is also the torchbearer of an extraordinary legacy as the son of renowned spiritual legend, Dr. Abdut Shivanand, who is also his guru. So let's meet Ishan Shivanand. Ishanji, welcome to Chai with Manju. It's an absolute honor for us to have you with us today.
Pleasure's all mine. Thank you for having me.
So let's start at the beginning of your journey. You spent your childhood in the monastery, which was located in the oldest and most beautiful mountain range in the world, the Aravalli Mountains. And from what I read, you were immersed in nature and yogic teaching, led by your father, of course, the legendary Dr. Avdur Shivanand. I was reading that there was no clock there and perhaps no calendar. So tell me, what are the best memories of the place that you call paradise in your book?
The most interesting memory would be even today when I go back, I ask people who are raised there, I ask, what's your age? Especially the old people. They don't have a concept of age.
Wow.
They have a vague memory of when they were born. Then they continue this, there's no concept of birthdays. It's like, fine, yes, we came on this planet and there is no limitation. So you will find people who will look very old, they're still having a family, still working because they have not been conditioned that, okay, now this age milestone means your retirement, this age milestone means you need to curl up and die. So I think this is a very phenomenal memory that I have, that when I would come out of the ashram and I would talk to people and they would be so obsessed with their birthday, what year they were born, their sunshine, whereas all those things did not matter in Rajasthan.
How did the simplicity of those days prepare you for the complicated life that we all lead today, in the modern world?
It did not actually, because a normal person can go to a monastery and try to cope and adapt. Because the normal person has been through so much in life and has been through so many times of evolution and adaptation. Whereas a person in the monastery, he has a very simple way of looking, a very different focus.
Right.
So when you come out, then there is this whole phase in which you are overwhelmed, in which you have to then refine your spirituality, refine your divinity. And I was engaged in that struggle for almost 5 to 6 years.
Wow.
And I was still trying to refine what I had lost when I was in that monastery after coming out.
Wow, that's very interesting. Now, you have become known for the Yoga of Immortals. It's a beautiful name and it's becoming very popular. It's evidence-based meditation protocols. Can you explain in your own words what is at the core of Yoga for Immortals and how is it different from other practices?
So when we look at yoga, we are thinking of a very physiological activity, a bit of moderate to high impact activity where muscular stretches are involved, static holds are involved.
Right.
But in its essence, if we look at yoga, it was a very cognitive activity. So if we go through the whole of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, we will not find one single yogasana that he's talking about. It is very philosophical in nature, and the objective is not to exercise the body, it is to focus on the mind, the cognition.
Right.
And Yoga of Immortals take yoga back to its real roots. That is meditation, that is mastering the breath, that is mastering the emotion. And that is where I think the major difference lies. Whereas when we are talking about the traditional yoga that we see around us, we may talk a lot about mental health benefits, but clinically, there are a lot of physiological benefits
Absolutely.
and there are some mental health benefits. Whereas in reality, if we talk about yoga as it's traditionally seen, the cognitive yoga, then there are expounded mental health benefits which are clinical in nature, and there are some physical benefits as well. So there is more focus on the mental health.
You know, as a physician myself, I'm very fascinated with all the work that you have done for stress and anxiety and depression, and there are some good results in scientific protocols. I was wondering, are there any non-pharmacological modalities uh, that you would recommend apart from meditation that would be very helpful? Because there's so many people. I mean, in COVID, I went through physician burnout of sorts, and I see a lot of corporate burnout. You know, I see them as my patients. So anything you can suggest that would be helpful to them would be great.
So for chronic care and as a non-pharmaceutical modality, I think breath work is very powerful. If we can start to understand pranayam and
Hmm.
how to make the flow of energy focused through breath work, it is very
Right.
powerful because we've seen it in cases with children that are dealing with mental health issues as well, especially children that are on the spectrum. We've
Right.
seen that breath work can really help stabilize their focus. We've seen that in chronic care, cancer survivorship programs. Uh, Breath work can help in pain management, breath work can help in stress management, and even for physician burnout. We have seen that if we have a combination of breathwork based, meditation based modalities, then uh, it is something that can be explored and it can bring real value into one's life. So I think breathwork is something that needs to be studied a bit more deeply, more
Right.
profoundly, and the correct evidence-based modalities of breathwork need to be introduced in various work settings.
You know, I was the president of our oldest Indian Medical Association in United States. It's called Indian Medical Association of New England, and of course, API is our bigger body across the nation. Have you ever thought of collaborating with Iman and API and other medical organizations so that we can do some of the work together?
I would love to organize anything that can be done with API, but I think with API, what happens is based on the leadership that's elected, goals keep on changing. So
That's true. That's
sometimes the
true.
goal is relaxation, entertainment.
Mm.
Sometimes the goal is changing the whole landscape of care. So I don't
Mhm.
know what the current leadership looks
Yeah. Well, in Iman, which is based out of Boston, there's a lot of good work being done, and maybe you could consider doing a retreat for us at some point. We would love that.
like. Oh, of course, because Boston is the heartland of academia in North
Yes,
America.
yes,
We have Yale nearby. We have
yeah.
Harvard. We have
Harvard, yeah, absolutely.
MIT.
Yeah,
So we have a lot of
yeah,
intelligence in that
yeah,
area, and I think there's something in the water. But that's the
right.
thing. When there is more cognition, there is
Yes,
more scope
yeah,
of burnout.
yeah. No, let's chat about that because I think that would be something great. So I have to tell you, I am loving your book, Practice of Immortality. Sanjay ji gave me this book last week because we were going to meet, and I couldn't put it down because I'm savoring every page. And I love what you said that it's not about gaining more time, but basically expanding your relationship with the time that you have. So I really like the way you summed it up. So tell us more about that.
We start dying the day we are born,
Mm-hmm.
and it's amazing how we have a relationship of ebb and flow with life itself. So
Mm-hmm.
many times when I'm working clinically with young
Mm-hmm.
men, they would say that we just don't want to live anymore.
Oh. Huh?
When they are at the precipice of
Mm-hmm.
death itself, that's when the
Mm-hmm.
realization comes that I have so
Mm-hmm.
much to live
Mm-hmm.
for.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this amnesia about our mortality induces us to
Mm-hmm.
go on a state of infinite chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a person who practices the yoga of immortals, he
Mm-hmm.
he knows his immortal nature, being his soul
Mm-hmm.
and consciousness, but at the same, he's
Mm-hmm.
very well aware of his mortal, finite existence on the planet Earth as well, which
Mm-hmm.
allows him to celebrate life. And I
I
think
see.
that is very rare.
Okay, that sounds good. So you have a lot of knowledge of naturopathy. I was reading that you are masters at naturopathy, and you also have tremendous knowledge of herbal medicine. So are there some herbs that we should incorporate in our diet that would be good for us? And if you can give us three good tips for good health, good physical health, I would really appreciate that.
So, biology and botany is very different from where I come from
Mm-hmm.
versus what I see here. So,
Mm-hmm.
where I come from, I remember my Mache. I talk
Mm-hmm.
about it. He had his sickle, and we would specially go into the forest to look for certain herbs because he
Wow.
believed that a herb in nature is 1,000 times much more potent than an
Mm-hmm.
herb that grows in the nursery. And
Wow.
here, we don't even like to grow the herb, we work on active ingredient. So
Right.
something will say that it's ashwagandha in it. It's not real
Mm.
ashwagandha. It's that active
Mhm.
yes something ingredient,
Right. Right.
and anything that becomes a fad, then that herb starts to become a fad.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing, where I come from, there's like two ways how we can
Mm-hmm.
approach herbs. One
Mm-hmm.
is preventative. So herbs
Okay.
that can increase our metabolism, herbs that can help with our
Mm-hmm.
immunity. Things like turmeric, things like ghee,
Yeah.
things
Mm-hmm.
like neem, amla, sahjan. So these are all the things that we have in a form of preventative medicine. It could even be
Okay.
fermented garlic in
Mm-hmm.
honey. And
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the other part of the herbs, then they are the medicinal herbs that we
Right.
only need to really rely upon
Mm-hmm.
if we are suffering from a predicament. So, on
Okay.
a day to day life, I think herbs may be an issue, but I
Mm-hmm.
think spices is something that if we can
Okay.
study and we can bring into our lives, it would
Okay.
be very good. Teas, dried teas, if we can study
Mm-hmm.
them, the correct flour, the correct brew, then that is something that can really bring value into our
Mm-hmm.
health. And if we can have a small garden with small
Mm-hmm.
pots, and I don't know if we
Yeah.
can neem in
Wow.
North America, but that can be something that's excellent for
Mm-hmm.
blood purity, that's excellent for dental
Mm-hmm.
health, that has such a profound impact on your body
Okay.
that
Okay.
it can be added as a daily addition.
Okay. And any three tips for good health? How you can stay physically healthy?
For physical health, I think three things that are very good. Number
Mm-hmm.
one would be diet.
Right.
Diet is something that's overlooked.
Mm-hmm.
If we can be aware of our macros, we can be aware of our micros, we can be aware of
Mm-hmm.
how much protein intake that's happening. So I see that a lot of the monks where I would grow up, they were very aware of what they were eating, yes,
Mm-hmm.
but they were also very aware of the amount that they were eating.
Okay.
And this whole concept of 3 meals a day,
Mm-hmm.
then two snacks a day,
Mm-hmm.
it's a very fairly new concept in
Mm-hmm.
the South Asian part of the world. So they generally like to have one big meal, or then there would be a lot of intermittent fasting. Or if they
Mm-hmm.
would eat a lot, then they will eat when they are hungry. And this is
Right.
such an interesting concept to eat when you are hungry, to be in that mind body coordination, to eat when you hungry. Not a lot of people can do that. So
Yeah.
sometimes these guys won't get hungry for 2 days, 3 days. So they're not eating.
Wow.
So I think diet is a very important thing that needs to be studied more. We need to be mindful about it. The second can be your cardiovascular health. So for
Right.
cardiovascular health, we have the breathwork-based yogic protocols, and
Right.
finally, it would be the strength training. And for strength training, then we have other yogic protocols that can be utilized that can work on those small muscle fibers of the body that can really help us. Because when I'm saying strength, I don't mean aesthetic physique.
I understand.
It means
Muscle, yeah.
ability to be graceful
Right.
as you grow old.
I understand. So when I was reading your book, you talk about the book of mantras in there. So I was very curious about that. And then I was talking to my daughter who's doing her MBA, and she said, can you ask him? So that's a question from her. Is there a mantra is there a specific mantra that you can chant when you are very nervous? Like I remember she had job interview, and she was waiting for so many hours and her anxiety level was going up. So she was saying, is there any mantra that you can recommend that helps you keep calm?
So, not just the mantra, I will also tell you the technique. A
Uh-huh.
simple mantra that is very powerful, that can be considered non theological, non denominational, would be Om Namah Shivaya. Because Namah Shivaya represents awakening of divinity in the five elements, and
Right.
Om signifies the universal primordial sound from which
Right.
everything comes.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a prayer to a certain god. It is not a poem. It is simple,
Mm-hmm.
powerful, vibrational sounds. So,
Mm-hmm.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Right.
And how to do this mantra is inhale with one mantra. So in your mind, you're going Om Namah Shivaya. You take a deep breath, and then with one mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, you exhale. So if in my head I'm going Om Namah Shivaya,
Wow.
Om Namah Shivaya, then my breath will go. And if I continue my breath, my awareness on the mantra, then you will see the mantra will have much more profound impact.
You have to do a retreat for us. Maybe in the New Hampshire mountains or in California. We'll come.
Oh, I have my eye on Mount Shasta for the longest time.
Ah, okay.
Yes, because like when people think of the Himalayas, they
Uh-huh.
think of only one geographical location.
Right.
The truth is, Himalayas are an energy portal where
Mhm.
people can go and they can get enlightened, and there is very high energy. But
Right.
it's not the portal is limited to the Himalayas. When I travel in North America, I find it to
Hmm.
be a very, very holy place. It could be
Hmm.
the desert region of Sedona in
I was just
Arizona.
gonna say Sedona.
It could
Um,
be Mount Shasta. It could be the
mhm.
mountains in Colorado. It could be Yosemite. It could be.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of exposure in the northern New Hampshire side of the mountains, but
Yeah.
yeah, Appalachia Trail, I did drive through
I've
that.
seen. Yeah. I did. I've
So,
seen that.
so there are a lot of powerful energy pockets in this country, which I think
Hmm.
we need to explore through retreats.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
They
Yes.
call them vortex, right? Some of them. Sedona is I've traveled a lot in United States, but I think Sedona really takes your breath away. It's just so spectacular. So,
Yes.
okay. So, you have said that, meditation is not a luxury, but it's a survival tool. But there are some people who find it very hard. I personally have not found it very easy to do the standardized meditation. Do you have any, do you do any teaching virtually or any sessions that you offer? A lot of people ask me to check that with you.
So I'm about to start something virtually. That would be
Uh-huh.
free, where a lot of people from around North America can join. I will do it
Okay.
as Anushtan, meaning
Okay.
one time of the day fix and
Okay.
just log in on Zoom.
Okay.
So I've been doing Anushtan for a few years, and we
Mm-hmm.
have 50,
Mm-hmm.
60,000 people
Mm-hmm.
attendance in those programs. And it's very simple. It teaches accountability. It
Okay.
teaches community, and people
Okay.
just come in and then they meditate together. The thing
Okay.
about meditation is that our mind, it requires some form of ritual opulence for us to assign value to something, and that
Right.
value assignment will help us overcome the mental friction that we have towards
Mm-hmm.
that activity. The value
Mm-hmm.
assignment could be through money. If we
Okay.
pay
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 to go learn meditation from Tony Robbins, then we paid
Mm-hmm.
$10,000 in our head,
Mm-hmm.
whatever he's teaching. It can be so very simple, but because we paid
Because,
$10,000,
yeah.
we will have very less friction. We will really accept it with all our heart, and we will
Mm-hmm.
try to focus upon it.
Okay.
Where I come from, meditation's value assignment was through spirituality,
Okay.
grace. When we would go to the
Mm-hmm.
Guru, then even if
Mm-hmm.
he will say us one word, that
Mm-hmm.
word we were taught again and again and again that that word is a diamond. That
Mm.
is the most powerful thing that you can get. So when we will get that instruction, we will
Mm-hmm.
value it and treasure it for the rest of our lives.
Right.
And how I try to teach it to today's youth is through practice. That over
Mm-hmm.
time, over discipline,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the real magic of a value can be derived. And that's why if we just put a price cost associated to meditation,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then we straight away eliminate the most vulnerable parts of community that can benefit
Right.
from that meditation.
Okay.
So this is what I like to do. I like to do anushtans.
Well, okay.
Everybody is welcome,
I'd
and
love to do
everybody
that.
can benefit from
If you share with us, we can, or share with me, I can even share it with the medical associations and all. So it'll be good. So I have to ask you some fun questions. Last week when I was going to meet you in Boston, you missed a very special treat because after I read your book, I was going to bring you a little, I was actually going to bring you because I had bought it, a little piece of heaven, as you call it, the Snickers bars. I love that story in your book now. Are you a foodie?
it. Yes, I am a foodie. I have certain tastes that I really admire, and uh,
Uh-huh.
and the flavor also comes from the location. So
Uh-huh.
it's like if you're having a chola bhatura in Delhi
Yes.
versus you're having a chola bhatura in Delhi wala chaat in Milipitas,
Yeah.
California. It's
Yeah.
not the same.
Right.
You have to have the chola bhatura in Delhi. Those things that are in my head, I think
Uh-huh.
those connections, those neural pathways, they are very strong. And
Yeah.
whenever I travel, I try my best to find those few locations and enjoy them.
One of the uh, funniest thing, and actually very cute that I read in your book, and I knew that you were a foodie because you said, the mind is like a carrot. You can put it in a stew where it won't taste that good, but if you make gajar ka halwa from it, it will be very tasty. Do you remember that?
Yes, yes.
So that was really funny. And I've been watching you on Instagram, and you have such a fantastic voice. And you have the kind of voice that even people who are quite Besura like me, they also want to sing. Now, any chance you could just say, like, how you said some words in the beginning, could you do that for us today? But no pressure.
You want me to sing a few words?
Yeah, from your Om Namo Shivaya and Shiv Bhakti ka, what you have done on Instagram, that is just absolutely fantastic. And you have those drums too, right?
Yes. So, Om Shiva, Om
Oh,
Shiva, Parat
wow.
Para Shiva.
क्या बात है.
Omkara Shiva Tava Sharanam.
Wow, that is. Did you have any formal training, or it's just instinctively you sing so well?
I did not have any training. I
Hmm.
like to, and I don't sound that great. If you
Sounds
ask
very good
me,
to me.
if you ask a traditional composer, if you
Hmm.
have to go via metronome, if you have to go via music charts, all that, they are scratching their heads if they have to record me because I can only sing in a trance.
Hmm.
So it is like the concepts of what the Sufis talk about or what Bhakti Yoga
Hmm.
talks about. You go in a trance and then whatever emotion and thought
Yeah,
comes, then you do
you
it.
know, I have interviewed some of the best musicians and classical, classical music performers in the world, and one thing I find is the best music to an audience is the one जिसमें भावना होती है. You know, perfect note में अगर भावना ना हो तो it's just a perfect piece of music. But when you sing, उसमें इतनी भावना होती है that I would any day listen to you. So now, what else do you do for fun?
For fun, I like to uh, exercise. I'm a martial artist, so I
Yes, I
like to do
saw that.
boxing. I
Wow.
I have two kids. I
Uh-huh.
like to spend time with them as well.
Okay.
And as we discussed, music. I
Yeah.
like to go in that trance, and I like to do my bhakti. Um, yes, these are some of the things that bring joy to my life.
Now, you said your dad was more of your guru than your father. Now, are you more of a father or a guru for your kids? And how's your dad as a grandfather?
See, what I believe about these spiritual people is, and I will put a distinction
Hmm.
between me and my father, is
Uh-huh.
that spirituality comes to him very naturally.
Uh-huh.
Um, and here, the more I study mental health, the more I understand a few of our scriptures. So many
Hmm.
times a saint would come, and saints were like these mental health professionals. They would
Right.
come, they would look at a child, they would do the first screening, and they would say
Hmm.
that this child can either be a great king or he can be
Hmm.
a great monk.
Yeah.
They were actually diagnosing the child, that the mental fortitude that the child has, maybe
Mm-hmm.
there are some OCD traits, maybe there are some traits on the spectrum that this child will
Hmm.
not be able to live a normal life. He will not be able to have those normal engagements and pursuits. So either
Right.
he can be a conqueror, you can just throw him into the chaos and he'll
Hmm.
really shine, or he'll be a monk.
Hmm.
So in the same manner, I believe that all these saints, they are on some form of a spectrum.
Right.
And in that spectrum, empathy works differently for them,
Hmm.
relations work differently for them,
Right.
joy works differently for them.
Hmm. Right.
And that's why they create such an awe to the normal public,
Right.
because they are not normal. Their
Hmm.
behaviors are not normal.
Hmm.
So when I look at my father, to him, meditation comes very easy. To sit on a chair
Right.
comes very easy. To shut down, that's his true nature. What will be more difficult for him would be to navigate through a room and maybe
Hmm.
talk to people. That is
Hmm.
something that
Hmm.
he cannot do. And that's why when he was a guru, he was a great guru
Hmm.
because he worked out of instruction. And
Right.
I don't think he could have been such a great father because emotionally he's not
Hmm.
built. Is his
That
mind
way.
is
Gotcha.
yeah.
Hmm.
So he was a very good guru. And when I grew
Hmm.
up, I realized that there was great uh, things that I learned and acquired because I had a great guru. But then there were some weaknesses
Uh-huh.
in my armor as well because I had no upbringing from a father.
Right.
So that's where then a lot of self care and
Uh-huh.
emotions need to go into play. And that's why to my kids, I'm trying to be more of a father to them.
Father. Mm.
And even if I'm being a guru, it's to be in a fatherly way. And
Mm.
I'm trying to do something that was very common in ancient India, because in
Right.
ancient India, Tvameva mata chapita tvameva.
Padameho, Tumyo Bandhu.
Sakha tvameva.
Right.
So the Guru Tattva, it could easily be transferred to the child from the mother and the father.
Sure.
And I'm trying my level best to be that. And coming back to the grandfather, again, because those emotional cues do not exist, then he's a guru. He's a guru even to the grandkids. That's what he can be, and
That's who he
that's
is.
what I have to learn to celebrate. Yes.
Oh, that's fun. And what about your mom?
She is a kind person. That's what I can say. But again, her spectrums are the same, very spiritual in nature, and they both are meant for each other. So they have always been together, and they have helped each other in their divine missions and all the work that they've done. And they have lived a nomadic life in which they were always traveling for their objectives. And it's like my mother's job is to make sure my father's alive, and my father's job is to make sure that all of the Shivyo community is blessed. So they both do their job profoundly well. Yes.
Well, and you are performing your job absolutely fantastically. I have to tell you, it is truly an honor to meet you, and I look forward to seeing you in person. So please come back to Boston soon, or we'll come to California for your retreat, or anywhere you invite us.
Definitely. Either Sedona or Mount Shasta.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much. Stay well, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Life has a story, and everyone can inspire someone. It's truly a privilege for us to bring these exciting and inspiring stories. So stay tuned and keep watching.